Gets me every time.
All right. Welcome, everyone, to Word of Mouth. Welcome back, Mr. Miles Cheatham.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us again. And Mr. David Russell,
Thank y'all for inviting me.
MBA.
Here we go.
Any other initials, designations I need to put at the end?
IMPE.
Okay.
Please don't forget Julian, because there's two of us.
Okay, yeah.
Gotta say the baby.
Yeah.
My dad's a wild guy, man. So it's times that people will be trying to call him because some stuff he didn't stir up in the community.
Yeah.
And they'll call me cursing.
Uh-oh.
And
You're different.
Wrong one. Wrong one.
go to the contact above mine.
Yeah.
This Junior. Oh, this the baby. Please say the baby.
The baby.
Above my pay grade.
That's funny. All right, so Miles, you and Mr. David Russell got connected.
Yes.
Tell us how he's here, why he's here. Because
So-
you kind of connected me with him
Yes.
and set this up.
David and I met on the elevator in the First Bank building,
There we go.
the pink building downtown.
Yeah.
David's with the BBA,
Right.
and I just like good people connect with good people, and I just
Come on.
struck up a conversation, and I was actually trying to get involved in the community a little bit, and so some of my coworkers also recommended David as someone to get to know as well, and so that's really kind of what took us over the top in terms of connection point. But initially, it was just quick conversations in the elevator, and then
Chopping it up.
yeah.
Cool.
Got a couple times after work, and life's been good ever since.
What is the BBA?
The Birmingham Business Alliance, essentially the Chamber of Commerce
Okay.
to the city of Birmingham, and it's the economic engine for the 7-county footprint: Shelby County, Walker County, Jefferson County, St. Clair County, Bibb County. I'm missing two.
You already said Jefferson.
Yeah, I was going to say, you said Jefferson, Walker. Is Coleman? No.
It's more south. Can't think of the
South.
county.
Chelsea?
Nah, not Chelsea. That's a city.
Yeah, I'm not good at the counties. I'm better at the cities.
I can't think of the other counties. It's 7 counties.
Yeah.
Whatever the central 7 counties are,
Gotcha.
that's where we kind of support those guys.
Cool.
And help grow on the economic development front. So we're an economic development agency
Yeah.
also.
Gotcha. Okay. So how did you get involved with BBA?
Okay. I'm going to take you back a couple of years.
Talk to
Okay.
him.
So undergrad at Auburn, War Eagle.
Come on.
No, you over there with that one.
My wife is an Auburn fan, so I'll say War Eagle.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Roll
Show
Tide.
some love.
That's fine.
Oh, why you got to curse at me like this?
No, we got equal
Okay.
representation.
Look, it's like my best friend loves Alabama. I work in an Alabama office. My wife, she likes Auburn. Her family likes Auburn, so I don't really care. But anyway.
Hang out in the middle.
Yeah. I'll be a
We're gonna
people
have to switch
pleaser.
seats then.
I'll be a people pleaser.
Yeah.
I'll say War Eagle to you.
I appreciate it. Undergrad at Auburn, I did supply chain logistics management. So while there, undergrad, I did work the Walmart and distribution side, and I made a lateral move upon graduating to Dollar Tree in Savannah, Georgia, and worked in Savannah for a little while. And they had us like on a track to be like GM, so we supposed to spend like 3 months at corporate, 3 months on the warehousing side, 3 months in purchase, just kind of get the overall experience.
Right.
And then they shipped us up to Joliet, Illinois to kind of run that facility at a certain point in time. And so they got all the new guys they just hired from Auburn. We was all spread out. I was in Savannah, had some friends in Oklahoma, had some other friends in South Carolina. I think somebody else was in Texas and somebody else was in California. Shipped us all up to Joliet, Illinois, all these green guys trying to figure out how to run this facility. Dollar Tree was a challenging experience, especially when you came from Walmart.
Yeah.
It was like at this point, before Amazon just really kind of took off, it was the creme of the creme for logistics. They had all the great software and systems. Dollar Tree, they sell everything for $1. So the price point, there's not a lot of margin there for profit.
Right.
So
yeah.
the system is what they can afford, honestly. So they're doing good what they can. And from a recruitment standpoint, when you're talking about employees, they don't have a lot of capital to recruit the talent that you would want.
Right.
So you're kind of getting that sub-tier talent pool.
Right.
So it was a rough experience, to say the least.
Yeah.
So I'm still working there and being more appreciative at this point of Walmart. I found my way trying to get back to Walmart. I never knew Walmart had this other division called imports. So the import facility is like when stuff comes from overseas, it's like the distribution center. place is huge, like 1.2 million square feet.
Holy
facility.
cow, that's huge.
Yeah, like I managed like 90 people.
Wow.
So
this was how far out of undergrad was this?
This was 2 years after undergrad.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
2 years out and you got 90 people reporting to you. It's a lot of responsibility.
And I was younger than 75% of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a challenge, man. That's where my leadership skills really got tested and really got developed. Because one thing I figured out once I got back to the import side with Walmart is, leadership comes in different forms. It's not always just about knowing everything. Sometimes it's best if you don't, because if you know everything, it's kind of hard for people to kind of re-educate you to something new. So if you don't know anything, you kind of rely on people around you to kind of help you see stuff, and you can able to come to your own opinion of things. That's pretty much the key to one of the keys to leadership.
Yeah.
To accountability. So I was able to hold people accountable to a certain standard, be able to take information, go to bat, and be there for people when they need you. And that's important because while I was at Walmart, we set, like, our department set 14 records from Walmart's national presence.
Wow.
Was able to improve the production by 3% every year, able to increase like utilization of employees to about like 95%, 93% average. And we, like, the budget we managed like 3.6 million.
Yeah.
You know, so like it was great for leadership thing. And we worked a lot with like the ports. So when stuff like, once again, come from overseas, Port of Savannah, it comes in from containers, come to our facility. So that's why I started getting my port experience and stuff. Because when I came back home in 2018 with my daughter, I came here because my family's here. I had a huge family here, 13. My mom got 13 siblings.
Wow.
My dad has
Big family. Yeah.
So I got 16 uncles from two sets of grandparents.
Wow. Y'all were matching shirts at the reunions, huh?
Yeah. You got the color-coded shirts. So when I came back home and I started doing like some consulting, because my one, at this point in time, gripe with Walmart is that they didn't really promote their associates based on like your merit. It was pretty much, we're Walmart, we're the largest employer in the country. We're going to give everybody kind of the same grade. You get your same raise. So you didn't really get rewarded for doing more
right
at this point in time than you would, at least at where I was. So I was like, hey, I'm making X amount of dollars. I think I could go back home to Birmingham and figure this out and do like a logistics consulting firm.
Yeah.
That's where I started.
Were you, real quick, after Juliet, did you go back to Savannah at Walmart?
Yeah, I went back to Savannah.
Okay.
And I commuted because I was actually in Statesboro.
Got you. Okay.
So I stayed in Savannah for my commuted. It was, the drive was so long.
I was going to say, where is Statesboro versus Savannah?
Savannah's on the coast.
Yeah. Savannah's on the coast.
Yeah.
Statesboro's
Coast of Georgia.
Inland.
Yeah.
It's between Savannah and Macon.
Okay. Yeah.
Georgia Southern is there.
Yeah.
With the Eagles. The drive from Savannah, and it was 4 o'clock in the morning going to work. The drive was so long, every 15 minutes I thought I passed my exit.
Ugh.
That's how long it was.
Goodness.
So that commute, it lasted about a year or two. Then I moved to Statesboro, and then I stayed there like another year or two and came back home. But when I came home, I was doing consulting. City of Birmingham was one of my clients. Met a partner. I did another joint consulting firm. We did some work for the airport, BLG Logistics. So I'm really getting my experience in the consulting side more and more. And when the City of Birmingham was my client, that was like one of the best things. It wasn't a lot of money, but the information is key.
Yeah.
They tap into politics a lot. I know everybody sees stuff like this senator or this representative just bought this stocks. This should be illegal. It kind of isn't or shouldn't be because it's public information.
Right.
They're able to take advantage of it because their job is to hear what's going on.
Right.
And then they can make a decision.
Right.
Yeah.
So we have access to the same information, but we're doing other things. We don't have time to. We're not being paid.
Right.
Hone in on that information.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
That's how they get so wealthy.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of the same thing working in local government. You see stuff's going on, so you got to get a jump on opportunity. You're at every city council meeting. You see the developments coming on. So it's kind of like you can see stuff happening, and if you're involved, you can get a piece of the pie in a sense. So that's what really brought me to like just want to stay with City of Birmingham. But then the opportunity came up to run a port authority. Did you all know Birmingham has an inland port?
I did not.
Where is it?
So technically, it's in Mulga, Alabama.
Okay.
But in 1986, it was annexed in.
Okay.
So in 86, Mayor Arrington annexed in the port, Barber's Motorsports, and the Summit.
Yeah.
So those 3 places are in Birmingham city limits that people don't know, and he did this for the tax base.
Right.
So the port it got it's annexed in, and it's connected to the port of Mobile.
Okay.
So we ship out barges.
Yeah.
So I presented to the board several times to try to get this contract. This point in time, about 29, 28, somewhere around in there. And the port had a couple scandals before. Some challenges politically. So let me rephrase that. The port itself didn't. Some individuals involved with it did.
Right.
And because they were just there, people just kind of removed themselves from any environment they was associated in. And so it wasn't a lot of attention on it. People really didn't want to be seen there. And they had an opportunity for somebody to come on as executive director.
Yeah.
And I presented me and my former partner. And eventually we got the contract. And since then, that was like 2019. I've been serving as executive director for the Port Authority. So the goal is how can we develop the port? How can we bring more business? A lot of people, and the fact that people don't know about it is the biggest challenge.
Right.
So holding focus group, just educating people on the benefits of it. Why, if you are a steel manufacturer, why you should use the port. And if you can't use it, why not? Because another piece we can do, we can lobby. So my mom's elected official, and growing up, I thought this whole time of my life, like, she made laws, and that's not how laws really happen.
Yeah.
We make laws.
Right.
We come up with an idea, and we find somebody that'll support our idea.
Right.
And then they get their colleagues to support their same idea.
Yeah.
To change, amend, remove, add the law.
Right.
So it's really come down to us.
Yeah.
So really just having an understanding from the business community, what are your challenges? How can you, what's preventing you from growing? What incentives or what motivation do you need to kind of continue to grow? Because one thing about government incentivizes for components that they don't do. Housing, create jobs. Like, even though the government is a huge employer, that's not their main goal. The government provides services.
Right.
So they provide incentives to business owners to make up for the stuff they can't do to help money move, to grow the economy. And that's where I kind of fall in that space. We're trying to be, I say I'm a conduit.
Yeah.
By me being from here, I have a lot of relationships, and it's just about me just understanding the landscape and being able to connect you and him. Say, this is why y'all need to meet and try to help you all move money around and grow the pool of money.
Right.
And when I went after that role for the port, being transparent, I thought, okay, logistics, supply chain, I got this. Port of Savannah, work with them. Well, this is going to be a breeze.
Yeah.
Got in the roles, economic development, politics. Heavy on the politics.
Yeah.
Because just from the optics of it, we had to rebrand ourselves. We had to reprove ourselves. And we did that. So we went on this. So we had like 60 grand in a bank account. And so a bad reputation and $60,000 is a great opportunity for somebody in their 20s. Nobody else wanted it. Like, they couldn't afford a real profession. Let's be honest. Like, I wasn't like the best polished person then, for sure.
Yeah.
But they couldn't afford anybody else. I was their only option.
Right.
So, and I'm grateful of that. And they gave me an opportunity. And so we kind of went in and we wrote a strategic plan for them, figured out this is what you need to do to kind of go forward. And then they brought us on to kind of carry out that strategic plan. We're still in that. And since then was able to raise some dollars, go to get some money from the governor. Then we lobbied the city to give us some more money. So we put that together, and we went and found a public-private partner. We did a public-private partnership with a private company at the port to build them a warehouse. Okay. And the warehouse is kind of like speculative, like, the term build it and they will come.
Right. Yeah.
That's very risky. Yeah. So in risky situations, you want a partner. And the Port Authority was willing to partner with this company to figure out how can we do this development, how can we help offset risk, going back to the insurance conversation we had earlier, how can we help mitigate the risk for you? And we take on some of that risk. It's 5 ways to manage risk, and this is one of them, by figuring out a way to absorb it. And we was there partnering with them. So now we've built a 20,000 square foot warehouse to kind of help store hot rolled steel coils that are being produced in Mobile. So the idea in this port, they ship goods by barge and rail. Okay. So one barge is equivalent to 60 semi trucks. Okay. So they could do about 7 barges at a time. So about 420 barges come up the river. 420 trucks. Wow. Yeah. Coming up the river at the dock at a moment's notice. So there's a lot of freight out there. Yeah. There's a lot of raw materials too.
Yeah. I didn't know Birmingham was one of the, I don't know if it's one of the last cities but from my perspective, one of the first cities I saw that really still transports goods by rail system.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like driving over here today, I got caught up at the light at the tracks right over there. What is that, 41st? Trying to come past
I think,
Saul's.
yeah.
And I was like, oh, I had to bust a U-turn, go around.
Yeah.
It's been a minute since I've seen cities that actively move goods by rail system.
I was going to say Jackson is the same. Jackson has a big rail system.
Yeah. And then to see like the barges, I couldn't imagine what that would even look like.
Yeah.
Coming in and out, 7 barges at a time. It's a lot.
So a lot of the stuff, some of the stuff comes in from the port and it's put on the rail.
Okay.
And it's transported to something like a CMC Steel that's down the street.
Further inland or something like that.
Further inland. In the rail system, you say it here is very, very unique because we have 3 Class 1 rails. Being that self, they service the whole West Coast. And the first east they come is Birmingham. When I say the whole, I mean like the entire West Coast. This one rail line is connected to the Port of LA, San Diego, San Francisco.
So Class 1 rail. For those of us that aren't familiar.
Yeah, I was going to say.
A commercial rail line, main rail line.
Okay.
Like the Walmarts of rail.
Yes.
Okay.
The big box retail.
Service major cities probably.
Serving major cities. And some small.
Okay.
But they have capacity to go where a lot of short rails can't.
Right.
Okay.
So the short rails are like the little mom and pop kind of own deal. Yeah. These are more franchise commercialized. And that being that self rail line being connected to the Port of LA, that's 45% of the country imports.
Right.
So why not us recruit companies?
Yeah.
Because the cost of living in LA is crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You come to Alabama.
He would know.
Yeah.
We're 92% of the national average.
Yeah.
So 8% lower than the average state, which means if you're making $100,000 a year, just by living in Alabama and Birmingham, you could save $8,000 a year.
Yeah.
Just by living here.
Right.
So over a 10-year period, that's $80,000. Right?
Yeah.
You want to buy a lake house? What you trying to do? Like,
Yeah.
That's your money right there. Like just by living here.
Right.
So now you can flex on your friends in Cali. They got a little cottage.
It's different.
You got
different.
a big boy downtown, and you got a lake house. Come on. Y'all making the same amount of money. I mean, y'all got to come to Birmingham. Like,
no, y'all don't have to come to Birmingham. It's a hidden gem right here. They don't need it,
Oh yeah, if all y'all come, it's gonna raise the cost. Exactly. Just some of y'all.
Yeah, I was gonna say we go back and forth between welcoming and gatekeeping Birmingham.
For sure.
You can come visit.
Yeah, come check it out. Yeah, check it out. Just see.
And it's like going to the getting more into the business piece. Like so. One of our biggest challenges from the Port Authority standpoint is communicating that message. Like we want to let a CMC Steel or a manufacturer know that's on the West Coast that's trying to service companies or business in the Southeast. Hey, you can come locate here, still have that same direct access to everything you have in LA, but then you get here, you got access to CX6 and Norfolk Southern also, which hits anywhere in between Maine and Miami.
Okay.
So we talking about a distribution hub. Birmingham is really that, and from Birmingham, from a logistics standpoint. You could touch 35% of the country in a 1-day drive, 70%, 75% within a 2-day drive.
Right.
So you can hit any major city, and our airport is doing an amazing job with direct flights.
Yeah.
So I think we got like 20 direct flights now to major cities.
They need to add one more, but yeah.
New Orleans.
Austin.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I haven't flown there in a while, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, we go straight to Phoenix.
Okay, yeah, we go straight to Phoenix.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're open to that, and they'll do the numbers and run it. If the airlines say it's the opportunity, and if the demand is here, they'll do it.
We're supposed to be getting some flight directly to Europe, I think. I could be remembering that wrong, but I think there's some kind of flight to like Ireland coming or something.
It might be.
I can't remember.
They have an air cargo coming from Germany now.
Okay,
it comes twice a week on Tuesday.
I was going to say, is that for Mercedes? Probably
just for Mercedes.
Yeah,
and just once again communicating that to the world, saying, "Hey, we got this international concept, so you're based over here, you can still come over here." Mm-hmm. And now with the tariffs conversation, like we have a couple foreign trade zones designation we can deploy and kind of help people save on costs from a big business standpoint.
Yeah.
So we got a warehouse that's designated as foreign trade zone. You can put your stuff in there, defer the tariffs until the point of sale. So you can save a ton of money. It can sit in there for a year.
Yeah.
Where if it's not in that particular warehouse is next door to a warehouse that's not in the foreign trade zone, you're going to pay that tariff until this point of sale.
Right.
So saving comes a lot of money, but just communicating the infrastructure here, the amenities of here, but then the quality of life. Like, dude, like that living below the national average.
Right.
It took me 8 minutes to get here from downtown.
Yeah.
And 8 minutes to the airport from downtown.
Yep.
The only time traffic is bad, we say bad. People in Atlanta come over here like, bro, this is a breeze. I wish I had this problem. 280, like 5:30, 65, 5 o'clock.
Still, what, 45 minutes to get home as opposed to, you know, what we're used
Hours.
to.
And it's still like we're
big
talking about
city.
45 minutes, maybe like to Chelsea or something.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're driving a decent amount of
I know,
distance
yeah.
too. It's not like 45 minutes to get 3 miles.
Right.
That's what they're experiencing.
Yeah.
I joke people all the time. If you go anywhere and it took you more than 20, 25 minutes, you probably made a wrong turn somewhere.
I was going to say my wife and some of my friends have like a cutoff.
Yeah.
And it's like 15 minutes, beyond 15 minutes. Not sure if I really want to say yes to these plans, whatever it is, which is crazy because I have so many friends who live in Atlanta, and it's like 30 minutes to go see their buddy, like 5 miles
and
away.
That's the thing, like a 30-minute drive for them is, snap of the fingers. We can
Right.
go.
We're going to do it.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Now, think about it, like, to your point, 15 minutes, like, it has a lot of people spoiled.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
Like, once you.
My drive to work up in Gardendale, I have an apartment over in Mountain Brook.
Yeah.
Drive up to Gardendale, 17, 18 minutes. My wife thinks it's too far away. She won't go. Like, she wouldn't come see me on my lunch break. She's like, no, it's all the way in Gardendale. It's too far
17
away.
minutes.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
It's like another side of town, man. So, like, just understanding, being able to communicate that, and me just kind of doing I guess, having some visibility at the port, man, and people seeing the work that I was doing. I got hit up by a headhunter one day. And it was interesting because, like, I got some homeboys, man, that work at the airport, and I think the world of those guys over there is running it because they've been doing it's so remarkable what they've been doing these last couple of years. They was telling me about their CEO and how their CEO is pouring all this information into them, and they're learning so much from their CEO. And at this time, I share with you all, I had a consulting firm, a boutique consulting firm, so I was doing my own thing. So I'm learning, but every mistake cost me money.
Right.
So I now start thinking the same time frame, like, hey, let me get back into more of a corporate structure so I can get somebody I can kind of learn from and get some more lessons, and it don't cost me, and have a good give them a good salary also. So then maybe a month later, a headhunter called me out the blue, text me rather, and it's a Friday, man. Me and my daughter at the crib. It's lit, y'all. Like, we playing Mario Kart.
Yeah.
We got Kids Bop going on in the background.
Yeah.
We stand on the couch, and I get this text saying, confidential, I want to talk to you about the opportunity. I'm like, I look at her, she look at me, she said, call him. I said, all right. And she gives the best advice. And this time she was like 4, dog. So, like, I listen to everything she says.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, it must be her spirit.
Yeah.
Like, she's closer to the angels than we are, I guess.
Right.
I don't know. But so I called him.
Pure.
And the interesting part about this opportunity, I was actually approached by the organization prior to this headhunter called me. I was like, shoot, no, I'm not going over there.
Yeah.
I won't want to work with those guys. But then the way the headhunter positioned the conversation, he told me, like, what the role kind of did and the impact it played in the community. And one of my sayings in life is that life gives you an opportunity to be who you complain about. So if I'm sitting here complaining about this person in this seat not doing their job, life's going to have a way for, okay, your turn.
Yeah.
Are you going to be that same person when it's your turn?
Yeah.
Are you? So that's a moral question we have to,
Yeah.
like, you could get in that role, and it's easy. Like, yeah, I'm not helping that small business. Like, forget them. Like,
Yeah.
I was that small business that needed access to that person that's seat and needed them to open some doors for me so I can grow my business.
Yeah.
So by me having that experience as a small business owner and being able to be in the seat when I got more relationships where people going to answer for me, because typically when people call me, they're trying to save money. So I got that relationship, especially when I start building those rapport, those big businesses. It's easy for me to say, hey, I got this other business you need to talk to. I think they're a really cool fit in.
Yeah.
They'll at least give them a shot.
Right.
You guys, it's up to you.
Conversation.
It's just a conversation.
Yeah.
It's up to you to kind of close the deal, but I can open that door for them.
Yeah.
So that's
Go ahead. Sorry about that.
So that's what that seat did for me. That's what I try to pride myself on doing. Even sometimes I feel like I do. I work too much on that. I don't have that work-life balance because I'm really in my passion. So I could do it. I mean, if bills want an issue, I could probably I would do it for free.
Yeah.
Honestly. Because you get to really have an impact in the community. You get to work on something that looks like this table. Then you come back 2 years later and there's something there.
Yeah.
And you see people going there. You see people skipping out. You see people getting paid. People getting new cars. People buying new houses.
Yeah.
And just understanding that you played a role in that.
Yeah.
Coming from that to this to look at all these people that's impacted.
Yeah.
And like even how I built relationships with First Bank. That's a project that we worked on. I'm not sure where you guys was located. I can't remember before.
I think we were.
Did y'all have an Alabama presence?
We did, but it was small. I
Okay.
think we had just started, and I think we were looking at office space. I think off 280,
Okay.
and then I think you got involved, and then that's what brought.
So
us
that's what our organization does. So First Bank was primed to grow, and once again, going back to that concept earlier about taking that risk. Sometimes this is what we kind of help. We're that middleman between government and private sector to kind of help them mitigate their risk. So in First Bank, like, hey, we want to grow, we want to come downtown, but we know it may or may not work. Is anybody out there can help us speak to the government about how to offset some of that cost, just in case it doesn't work? We don't have as a big loss.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're called incentives.
Yeah.
So we help First Bank get a couple incentives to kind of encourage their growth. So especially like, you're starting off a business, those first couple years are very challenging. There's going to be a lot of capital, so you're not going to really start making money until year 4 or 5.
Right.
You're just putting money into the business. So the government comes in, kind of help reduce some of that cost by providing you incentives. And Alabama is great on it because like we have like investment credit. So like if you invest X amount of dollars, you can get 3% of that back if the state allows for 10 years every year.
Yeah.
And that's when you start adding that stuff up, some real money
Over time,
Right.
yeah.
over time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially like even if you hire people in this wage range, we will help offset some of the costs by giving you what's the word, a rebate on how much you paid out to your employees.
Yeah.
And it makes it more sustainable. The business able to get their legs up on them. Then you got them here for 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
That's kind of the process we walked through with First Bank. So they're actually, y'all on the 8th floor or the 5th floor?
5th floor.
Okay, I was getting confused. They had a temporary floor, which I guess was the 8th. Now they're on the 5th. So we're on the 2nd.
We're also on the 1st floor.
And the first floor, for sure. And they got the building now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's their building. It wasn't their building when they came.
Yeah.
Now it's their building. They got the name on the building.
Yeah.
It looks good. But once again, recruiting a company like that, man, and the president of the bank do like grant. Like once I started meeting people at the bank, it kind of just made me like that bank more and more, and seeing that impact they had. Like the president is like one of the coolest guys ever.
Yeah.
Like so non-assuming. Like you see him out on the street, you're not gonna just think that's the president of a bank.
Yeah.
You don't think so?
No, I know so.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like
regular guy, not even like a regular guy, but just has like this level of like quiet confidence. That's just
Yeah.
he doesn't have to say much, and when he does speak, everybody listens.
Yeah.
It's usually extremely impactful.
Yeah.
He's exact spot on.
And
Yeah.
then so I had a chance to meet Grant on the same elevator. We kind of chopped it up, and then they hired one of with the port, our bank account was with another bank. They hired the guy that had that account, and he and I had a very good rapport. So like, oh, you over here with us now? Okay, cool. Yeah. So me and him, we've been building. Like, okay, First Bank. I like the people they're bringing in. Then I met some guys from Nashville that came down from the headquarters. Really connected with those guys, man. Like, okay, yeah, First Bank seems like they got like some solid people. And in some corporate environments, man, like you can kind of get distance from reality, and it could come out in how you treat people.
Yeah.
And you could go into a corporate environment, and the First Bank didn't give that impression from the corporate, even from the local and the regional level. And then the other guy, Trey, who was talking about earlier, who Mal was just talking about, he was at a different bank. I met him on a whim. We chopped it up, have a really good conversation. I look up 2 weeks later.
He's in the building.
He's in the building.
Yeah.
LinkedIn. Congratulate Trey on starting to roll at First Bank. Like, oh my goodness, they got a team over here.
Yeah.
All my friends.
Yeah.
Then I meet Miles later on. I had all these great experience with everybody at this bank. Then Miles comes in. Like, at this point, I gotta rock with them.
Yeah.
Like I can't lose with First Bank.
Right.
Like
right.
I'm gonna have to move my money out of this conversation now.
That's funny.
So just really helping those businesses, and we help First Bank save a lot of money on just trying to get here, and now their presence here is going to help Birmingham grow and provide services that some banks don't have.
Yeah.
And really carve out a new niche and kind of just be more competitive in their environment.
Yeah. I love it. Well, I love this whole conversation, where we're going. I kind of want to back it up a little bit. I want to take it back to Lil David Russell Jr.
Okay.
Back in the day. You said you grew up here,
Grew
right?
up here, yeah.
Where'd you grow up?
On the western side of Pratt City.
Okay. Tell me about your childhood. What was growing up here like?
So my childhood was a little bit unique because my mom was elected official.
Right.
So she got elected when she was like 25.
Goodness.
Yeah,
I
crazy.
was going to say, I'm about to be 25. That's, what am I doing wrong?
Dude, imagine living with her.
Yeah.
You come from good stock.
Big
I hope
shoes to
so.
fill.
Yeah, I can't feel those pumps, man. It's just, I think for me to outdo her, I had to be like lieutenant governor or something like that.
Right.
No cap. So she interned for Bob James, who was the governor at the time. She had opportunity to run for state office, ran for it, won. She did about 15 years in the state house. Then she ran for the Senate, like in '93 in a special election and won.
Wow.
So she became like the first black female senator in the state of Alabama.
Wow.
And at this time, I'm 3. And the running joke of my family is she only had me in the first place. She had me when she was older. Because she was in a runoff.
Right.
So she needed a baby. The other guy didn't have any. Like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah,
pop
yeah.
this baby out.
Oh, look at
gonna
this.
prop.
Look at this right here.
Vote for me.
Yeah.
And
Whatever it takes.
dude, like,
She's a hustler. I mean, what do you want to
it
say?
kind of tracks.
Yeah.
Because like my first picture in life was campaign literature.
Yeah.
So I'm like 6 weeks old on campaign literature. She, like, the legend has it she was actually in the hospital when she took the picture. I don't know how true that is.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny to see that. But then by me being in an environment, I smell like a politician. Mm-hmm. I move like one, because that's how she trained me. Like, it was like we had to be on point when we go out in public.
Right.
We worked the room together collectively.
Right.
And just that personality piece, man, really comes out, man. So people always think I'm trying to go into politics, which I'm not. I'm trying to get to the bag.
Yeah.
Right.
Not yet.
Right.
Not yet.
See,
It's in there.
Yeah. See,
But I mean, I feel like what you're supposed to do is have a career, do something, meet your personal goals, and then you're supposed to serve others at a point in time. And that's technically
You
what
get
an
your
elected-
bag,
Yeah.
and then you turn around and you go
Elected
help other
official,
people get
exactly.
I'll keep
theirs.
that top of mind.
Come on,
Yeah.
now.
I'm serving now. I want to find an opportunity where I can do well and do good at the same time.
Yeah.
So and that might be in the cards later on down the road. We do always need great leadership, man, and I'd be honored to serve. People told me to, but growing up on the West Side, man, was different because Birmingham, and we got to realize like how Birmingham was back in the day. Like, my mom was born, I'm about to tell her age, like 56.
Okay.
So when she was born, Birmingham was still segregated.
Yeah.
It was still
Yeah, that's
Jim
way
Crow.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she comes from that environment. And my grandfather, who I spent a lot of time with, my mom was a single parent, they lived next door. He was born in 1919.
Wow.
So I'm like, the joke with us, like, dude, like, you're the only person I know to know people from the 1800s. Like, legit.
Yeah.
And like me and this guy like kicked it.
Is he still
Like, he passed away in
Okay.
2010.
okay?
Okay.
I was 21.
Yeah.
But I'm saying I got 21 years. I was
Yeah.
He passed around. I was like 21, 20 years old.
Yeah.
I got a lot of time with him.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't like I was 3.
Yeah.
And his mom, my grandfather's mom, passed away like 95.
Wow.
I got pictures with this lady.
Yeah.
She was born like 18 something.
That's
It was
crazy.
like 18, early 90s.
Yeah.
So it's just like to see like how not long ago some of this stuff was, and
Yeah.
kind of see how Birmingham has advanced, and just understanding the dynamics. And that's important because we came up in one of those middle class African American communities where, like I say, I lived with the senator. You had the House representative stay down the road. The congressman, he was on the other block. The first black Supreme Court justice, he was in the subdivision next door. And
Yeah.
the mayor lived in our neighborhood. So we had a lot of elected officials in our community, a lot of leaders in our community. So just me growing up seeing this type of excellence, it just forced me to carry myself a little bit differently.
Yeah.
And, you know, growing up, man, we always kind of veer. I went to a couple different schools, and a school I graduated from was Jackson Olin. And at some point in time, you do, to survive in certain environments, you do have to adapt certain mindsets just to kind of blend in and make it out. But it wasn't until I actually graduated, started off at A&M, left there, and went to ended up graduating from Auburn. When I got to Auburn, that's when a lot of things kind of really clicked for me about how to really kind of move out here in this environment, how to kind of be successful. Auburn gave me a lot of great tools, man, just kind of be successful and really put me on that path. But growing up as the only child with a bunch of cousins, man, it was definitely an experience. And my grandmother lived next door.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
Love it. What'd you spend your time doing? Were you hanging with cousins, playing sports? Were you the computer nerd? What was your time spent doing?
Yeah, we was definitely outside. Grandmother made us go outside for sure, walking through the community, Like we stayed in one house. My grandma stayed next door. Had a cousin stayed down the street. Another cousin across the street from them. So we would just roam the community back then. Like I said, my mom was in politics, so we always going to some event. We're always campaign season used to be the craziest. I remember times like just growing up and just being involved in campaign seasons, being up all times of the night, going door to door, asking for people to vote, going to different events, seeing her win because like she was actually ready to leave, but she didn't want to let the people down. So she ran the last time. Her last term was in 2006, and I could tell like my whole life I grew up in campaigns.
Yeah.
So this one time I could tell it's like she didn't really want it.
Yeah.
She just kind of want to bow out gracefully, and just having those experiences and just having those engagement with different people and seeing how the community support her. Like in my opinion, she was like a real deal, like local celebrity, hero. Like she like in so many projects. Like we like even though now like me doing economic development, she still got so many more projects than me. Like I remember we did the McWayne Center. I remember we did like the Civil Rights Museum.
That's crazy.
We did the racetrack over there and this and just other stuff she can talk about from a state perspective. But the one thing she's the most proud of is in 1995, she had her and Senator Figures. She's still down there. Vivian Figures, shout out to her. They lobbied to change the policy at the state house so women could wear pants.
Yeah.
In 95.
Okay.
So in 1994, women could not wear pants at the state house.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Sheesh. Okay. But it's crazy to see how like not long ago.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Could not wear pants. Like
right.
women couldn't wear pants.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's okay.
That's nuts.
Going on all those campaign trails and adventures, if you will, and life experiences, what's some of the key things that you took from her?
Public speaking, man. It takes you a long way. Like you don't have to always be the most knowledgeable. You surround yourself with the right people. You be able to speak publicly and be genuine about it. Like the way she connected with the people, she taught me something. Like always appreciate the janitors, the secretary, the receptionist. Mm-hmm. They know everything.
Gatekeepers. Oh yeah. I call them the gatekeepers.
Yeah,
Dude,
actually,
they know everything.
Yep.
And even I work late now, man. I see why, because they come to the office when nobody's there. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not saying they snooping people's stuff, but they can see stuff.
Yeah.
And sometimes they could potentially give you a heads up about stuff.
Yeah.
And even with receptions, they see everybody coming in and out of the door. If you need to know where people are, receptionists probably know.
Yeah.
9 times 10, they have access to everybody's calendar.
Yep.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So just being that person's friend, and a lot of times they have relationships internally that you may need, and they could just, hey man, like give my little friend a chance. This little young guy, I really like him. Yep. Think you should talk to him. Like, yeah. Well, Miss Pam, if you feel that way, I'll take him. I'll go to coffee with him.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that could be the life turning opportunity for you.
Yeah. That's
so
a good word.
She really in a way like I can't do it now, but she knew how to control the crowd when she was speaking. It was crazy. It's like she was like, especially she go to a church, man. She'll get up there, say her speech, and she had like this line about would a man rob God? And she goes through this thing like she builds up this. You get this amount of money a day. You spend your money on this. You spend your money on that. You go to sleep doing this. You wake up and you park in the passenger seat. And I'm talking about the crowd goes crazy. And you come down here and you put $2 in the plate.
Yeah.
She done broke down your whole check.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, man, it's like I knew it verbatim, man, and I could see the crowd like, yeah. Yeah. And it's always the same cadence. It's like it's like the way she used to control the crowd, man. That's a gift I hope I can develop, or I wish I had, or wish I can get, man. But and just her intentionality, like, dude, it used to be times, man, we'll be driving down the road. She's a senator. She'll pick up a homeless person.
Yeah.
And it used to be like these sketchiest stuff. Like, bro, what are you like?
You sure about this, Ma?
Like, what are you doing?
Like, we don't know them.
Yeah.
At
We
all.
don't know them like that.
But she's cool. She see an old lady walking. Where you going, ma'am? Come on, get in.
Yeah.
I'm like, here you are, this public figure. Like, you could low key be like flexing on them.
Right.
Yeah. Or I mean, also you could be potentially putting yourself in danger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You and your child.
Yeah.
Don't forget me in the back seat.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm in the back.
Yeah.
So you sit next to him. Like,
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
The whole time.
That's funny.
So having a daughter now,
Ooh.
what are like some of the key things that you try to like impress upon her, whether it be like lessons that you've picked up through life, stuff, and then Yeah, I'm gonna let you answer that first.
That's good.
Exposure.
Yeah.
I realized that one thing that set me out a lot from my peers growing up was I was exposed. Like I lived in the hood, but she took me out of the hood, and I was exposed to stuff. So as I grew, I had a more holistic approach to what life really is like. You got some people there in these bubbles, some people that's in this area they never seen the other side, and vice versa. So they can't necessarily relate. And by me being involved, like growing up, I went to a school called Advent, which is, I think I told you this, the school next door to the building.
Yeah.
The church.
Yeah.
So outside of my office, like this window would be my elementary school.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't go far in life.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Well, Myers, have you ever see the pickup line? The
pickup line
for the school?
Okay, yeah.
car show.
Actually.
Something. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a good school. It's a good school.
And like in
Okay,
my class,
okay.
like our class was lit.
Yeah.
Like we had, like, if you familiar with like the truck Estes, the logistics company has a big E on it, it's yellow.
Yes. Yeah.
Campbell Estes was in our class.
Whoa.
The last guy who just left last year, he was a CEO of UAB, Dr. Vickers.
Whoa.
Lauren Vickers was in our class. Now he's like some big hospital in New York. Robert Baxley, his dad was lieutenant governor,
Yeah.
attorney general. He's the one that prosecuted the guys at 16th Street bombing.
Wow.
Robert Vance III, Robert Vance Sr. was the federal judge that got killed. I want to say Aaron Rudolph. Somebody mailed him a bomb. That's who the federal courthouse named after.
Yeah.
His aunt is on MSNBC every other night. Like,
That's crazy.
as well as others. Like, I want to discredit anybody in the class,
Yourself,
but,
you know,
like I'm saying, it's like
Come on.
it was like the class was
star-studded.
For real.
the kids. So it's like you go to school trying to see who parents gonna be on TV the next day.
Right. That's
Daddy got
crazy.
the fight on the news last night. I saw
Yeah.
that. Your dad's crazy.
Yeah.
Then it's like you had that privilege speech. Like, man, I remember a time like if you and I got into it, I'm gonna tell my mom to make a law, and she's gonna fix this.
Yeah.
Like,
That's hilarious.
that's beef for that school.
Yeah.
Like, not you out here. You're a 5-year-old lobbyist.
Yeah, yeah.
What's going on?
My dad's gonna
That's
sue you.
so
Yeah,
funny.
my dad's gonna sue you.
Yeah.
Sign
me
this
alone.
contract for me. Like, you got people in there drafting up agreements
Yeah.
on the playground. Like, it's
That's
crazy.
crazy.
So going from that to, and Jackson Olin is, it's one of those schools where there's a lot of opportunity for improvement. It's based in the Ennis neighborhood, which is on the west side, one of the highest crime rates in the state.
Yeah.
In that one little pocket. So going from Advent to Jackson Olin, dude, like you just get, and then to make it matters even worse, my 11th grade year at Jackson Olin, we combined with a rival neighborhood and rival school, which was Ainsley High School, and dude, it was. I'm not sure y'all familiar with Eastside High. It's a movie in the urban area where they closed the school down. The police was coming up there. And they had to put chains on the door, and the principal was called Joe Clark. It's based on a true story. Our school's like Eastside High without Joe Clark.
Whoa.
Like, it was people fighting left and right, man. Like shootings. Like, it was
Crazy.
wild.
Sounds like whiplash to go from
Oh,
that school to this
yeah.
kind of environment.
And just having those different environments, man, gave me a unique perspective.
yeah.
So once again, going to Alabama A&M, I'm seeing a different side of life than going to PWI. From an HBCU to a PWI, it just kind of gives you that balance.
Makes you a chameleon.
It really does.
Yeah.
And it allows you to find that space to be that person you complain about.
Yeah.
How can I help these people over here that needs the support and connect them with these people? Because the goal, I don't want people to get confused. You are supposed to use people. You don't want to misuse people. So how can I use you without misusing you?
Right.
And that's where I kind of find myself in life, and that's where the
Yeah.
BBA does. Like from a standpoint of big corporation, small town, pull them together. People need jobs. How can we just kind of make that circle? How can we have that impact? How can we remove barriers for a big corporation to come into a community and do good? We're not advocating for bad polluters. Companies that are going to treat their employees bad. We're trying to, who are the good guys?
Yeah.
How do we get them here to connect with our good people?
Yeah.
And kind of have that impact. And by me growing up in that environment, it puts me in a unique situation where I feel like I can converse with both.
Yeah.
I feel like I can be relatable to both. Because just like how we sat down here and talked about Auburn, Alabama, that's a real thing in Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
I got a question for you. As someone who comes from a prominent family, how do you feel like you found your voice? meaning like going from the elementary school that you went to, the younger school, to Jackson Olin, and then having, I'm sure certain people in both environments looked at you a certain kind of way because of the experiences that you shared or didn't necessarily share with them. And then coming from the family that you came from, which mom's a senator, dad's known in the community, how do you feel like you found your voice to just be David?
I think it was always encouraged through my mom. Like, and this, once again, like, I've been in training for a long time. So my mom's not, I mean, she amazed about stuff I talk about now, but she had this to a certain degree mapped out. Like, at some point in time, God got to put his hands on you. And the kid got to want it too. But me being exposed to the impact, like the part that really sold me when I first came back to Birmingham, I'm trying to get my first consulting contract. I need an opportunity because I just need the cash flow.
Right.
I had a friend that I was running for judge. Shout out to, she's a judge now. Shout out to Shantae, Judge Shantae Brown.
Shout out Shantae.
For sure. Y'all need to get her on here.
Okay.
For sure.
I'd love to.
Like, she went from assistant DA to a judge now. Shantae, we're 34 years old.
I'm in the middle of watching The Lincoln Lawyer.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm like all in this legal space. I'm like talking to Claire. I'm like, maybe I do want to go to law school. I don't know. This looks kind of fun.
She'll definitely encourage you. If not, so she was running her first campaign, but she was not successful. So she kind of brought me on, and I kind of helped her with things. And when she did not win, the guy that beat her, he had to go to the primary, and she connected me with him. And it's like, she could have been salty. She could have been mad. I'm not helping him, and I'm going to shut this thing. I'm not. Nah, hey, you beat me. Here's my team.
Yeah.
Me and that guy, shout out to Judge Thrash. He's still a judge. He actually moved up a level. I'm not sure the levels how it go. I think he's circuit court, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
But Judge Thrash kind of, helped me out, especially financially at times when I was doing some work for him and just having that cash flow come in. And then I realized how Shantae got in that seat. So me and Shantae worked at McDonald's together growing up.
Okay.
Growing up in high school, I worked at McDonald's like throughout the year, and in the week during the summertime I was a lifeguard. So I kind of had like two jobs. So I always been trying to grind and figure it out. Shantae, I guess I would say some of her mentors, the two ladies that sworn her in were are twins. They're judges too.
Okay.
So when they were coming up, my mom helped them, gave them a scholarship and stuff. So not saying that if it wasn't for my mom, she wouldn't have made it, but she helped them. They turned around and helped Shantae. Shantae turned around and helped
you. Yeah.
My mama couldn't plan that.
Use people, not misuse people.
Yeah.
Literally.
For sure.
Yeah.
But my mama couldn't plan that, so it had to come from a higher power.
Yeah.
So just
100%.
seeing what my mom actions did 20 years ago, how it came back to benefit me, and seeing that change, seeing that linkage, it encouraged me to want to help more people. So you could help somebody that potentially help my daughter.
Yeah.
So she's there in a situation where she needs some support. I got enough good deeds out there where to eventually something's going to come back to her and help her get to the next level.
Yeah.
So I think that's how I really, really honed in on my voice for as I want to be a person that's kind of be seen as helpful.
Yeah.
I want to be a person that's seen as that conduit. My goal is to be one of the most valuable contacts in your phone.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people say, I don't know what David does, but I know if I call David, we're going to figure something. We're going to help figure my solution out.
Yeah.
And sometimes that could be oversaturated, but other times, man, it's like I still want to like just make sure I'm here, accessible for you. If you have the idea, okay, let me just connect you with this person. Let me kind of, because oftentimes the way I look at it, God gives these ideas out here floating around, and He finds somebody that is always working in this main factor of ideas, and they're turning them out. But one day, one of those ideas is going to be just for you.
Yeah.
But to get to the idea, you got to get everybody else theirs.
I like that.
That's that servant piece. How can I help get everybody else what they need? Because I know at some point in time, my stuff coming down that conveyor belt.
Yeah.
And once I get mine, somebody else going to take my place, dish out ideas, and I'm going to grow what he gave me.
Yeah. Andreessen Horowitz is one of the biggest VC firms in Silicon Valley. And Mark Andreessen, I've obviously never met him, but in hearing him described, he sounds like exactly what you're talking about you want to be. So he is this guy, when you sit down and talk to him, he's very short and he's very pointed. He says, what can I do to help you?
Yep.
and he'll connect people. And he's been involved in, I mean, if you look at their investment firm, it's like, I don't know, Twitter and Facebook and like Uber and like it's all of the blue chips. Yeah, exactly. But that's exactly his thing. His thing is, what can I do to help you? How can I connect you with the people that you need to know?
Yeah.
And by him doing that, and he's short and sweet about it. He'll give you 5 minutes, and then you just say, I need this much money. I need to connect with this guy or whatever it is. And by doing that and by being that guy, he's ended up being able to invest in all these companies and get his money and, you know, be successful in that way, but also like help so many people to connect with the right people that they need to connect with so that they can succeed in whatever their venture is. It's pretty cool.
Which is interesting because you're talking about your idea and being like conduit for everyone else's idea. That's, I mean, literally what VC is, literally just connecting people.
Venture capital.
Yeah.
I don't know if I said that or not. VC.
And then capitalizing on those relationships that you help foster for people.
Yeah.
I try to use my social capital to kind of help turn venture capital, the capital stacks, whatever we need, like, but leveraging that social, that's what I hear from my parents. Social capital.
Yeah.
Now I'm trying to turn that to actual real capital.
I mean, that's how it works.
Yeah.
Monetary capital.
Yeah. Yep.
It's funny. I had a conversation with our CEO the other day, and he broke down people's working careers into 4 quarters, and usually up to like, what do you say, like 30, 32 is like the first quarter, and it's just technical skills. For the most part, just technical skills and like hustle. Yeah. That second quarter is all about like relationships and building a foundation of people that that know you work hard, do good business, honest, trustworthy, all of those things, and that you can leverage those people to prepare you for the third quarter. And that's where you really become that peak earner in that third quarter. And he was telling me, usually people don't hit it to like 40. Yeah. 40, 45, and then through 55-ish is where you really maximize all the people that you know, every opportunity, and all the roles are usually big enough where you really are making, you know, a pretty big chunk of change. And then on the back side of that, positioning yourself so that you can cruise out of life and put other people in position to follow in your footsteps. So it sounds like you're in that phase of life, that second phase where your social capital is, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if for you it's a little bit quicker than, you know, 5 years from now.
I receive that.
Come on.
And that's interesting, man, because Nick Willis, shout out to Nick, he's the president of PNC Bank. Were you there? No, you came to Joe when Joe spoke to Rotary.
Yeah, Hampton.
Okay, so Hampton. Nick Willis came the luncheon before Joe. You got to come check us out one day, man.
Okay.
Rotaract.
It's
the junior version
June
of Rotary.
1st. I'll be there.
June 1st.
I'll be there. You tell me when.
For sure. And we have speakers, and one of the speakers, like, he came to the one with Joe Hampton, who's the president of Aspire, great guy. But Nick Willis talked about how he came up to the president of PNC, because he's from Birmingham, but he left. And he had relationships, and he was experiencing something that they were trying to do in the South that they only had going on in the Midwest. So when it was trying to figure out who can come back to the South and pull this off, it was only a couple people that could do it because of the relationships, because of they were wanting to come. And he always talking about having an advocate. He always had somebody that advocated for him when he wasn't in the room. So to your point about having relationships, man, the relationship is key. Yeah. You see a lot of people that really are not necessarily the best, that advance because of their relationship.
Yeah. And I think that's how a lot of corporate structures work. It's never really, like you were talking about your experience at Walmart and your merit. I mean, you have to have some merit, some competency with it. But a lot of it is, do I like you or not?
That's what it really comes down to.
You know?
Fact. And it's crazy to say that.
Yeah. Anthony Mackie was talking about success. I think I saw it 2 days ago, max. And he basically was just saying, you know, people tell children you have to work hard, you have to do X, Y, Z in the third in order to be successful. And he's like, honestly, success is kind of given. Like, whatever it was about you, being in the right place, the right time, saying the right things, someone just said you. Yep. Like, I pick you for this role, for this position, this opportunity, grant, scholarship, whatever the case may be. And that's how it happens. It's never really just, I just grinded for 30 years. And
the grind
doesn't work. Sometimes it doesn't.
No, it doesn't, because people who don't grind for 30 years still get the same opportunities. The grind piece is going to let you know if it's sustainable or not.
Right.
Yep.
Because you got to go through that process.
Yeah.
And we see it a lot, man, especially in that corporate environment. Like, people get, you're up, you're my guy, I like you, but you haven't been through the process that the others have been through. Mm-hmm. So when you get that opportunity, you're going to fumble the bag because you still got to learn.
Right.
And depending on where you are, you might have a long runway to fumble the bag and rebound, and then you take off. Or sometimes you just kind of fall from grace because, like, oh man, they had an amazing opportunity. What happened? What happened is they didn't have the experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What happened is they didn't grind.
Yeah.
So the grind is a sustainable piece, but to Miles' point, like, you need to try for relationships too. Like, and I'm guilty of it. I'm thinking like, hey, if I just grind hard, they're gonna come find me and say you're it. And that's
yeah.
My mom always says, "Closed mouth doesn't get fed."
That's it.
You know.
And some, everything happens like it should, man. Because sometimes those indicators that tell you if you're in the right environment or not, and it kind of helps you. Okay, maybe I need to start looking or building relationships with other places to kind of see that voice and kind of being an advocate if I can't feel like I can't get it here.
Yeah. David, what's the dream?
The dream. So since I've gotten economic development, I do a little real estate here and there, man. If I could just do what I want to do, I would still do economic development because it's fun just seeing how we impact the community, but really help Birmingham go to the next level. Birmingham's not trying to be Atlanta. It's not going to be Nashville. It's not going to be Austin. I want to help Birmingham be the best Birmingham it can be. Like that legacy my mom has, no matter how much money she leaves here with, her legacy is going to be here.
Yeah.
Her footprint is here. Her fingerprints are all over the city. To have that and to have my kids, my grandkids be able to see, like, look what my granny did, because I know how that was for me. It inspired me. My grandfather, who only had third grade education, he's from below Montgomery, came up here, man, and this dude, he learned how to read through he learned how to read through the Bible, and he pulled off a development in our own community. He built a senior living facility using new market tax credit from some land he got from U.S. Steel because he had a relationship. Yeah, U.S. Steel. My granddad used to take, like, my grandmama pies over there. They used to give him property, dude. Like, they gave him a bridge.
That's crazy.
Like, what you gonna do with a bridge? Man?
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like seriously, like, what are you gonna do with a bridge? Like,
he scrapped it.
Okay, right.
It was like a bridge that the rail lines come through, because the neighborhood we live in, they used to call it drift track because all the train tracks, because it's a lot of coal in that side of town. So they all worked in the coal mines and in the steel plants and out at the airport at Hayes Aircraft, and like U.S. Steel usually, like, so he got land from U.S. Steel, used that, got an apartment complex there, and just seeing how that elevated our family, seeing how that changed the dynamic of the community. It was a senior living facility. Yeah. So you had to be like 55 years older. Yeah. And it's been a waiting list since the day that place opened. Wow. And that's been 25 years ago.
Yeah. That's, what's crazy about that though? Two things. One, that is nothing but God. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I don't know if he had real estate experience before.
He didn't. That's what I'm saying. He had third grade education.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, to just throw a senior care living facility on land that was given to you. You had no market research. Yeah. Nothing that told you, oh, this is what's needed in this area. And then it just worked. Yeah.
And it's like at capacity since the day it opened.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. It's still a waiting list. Mm-hmm. So, man, just kind of one, serving the community, doing more of that. I would love to get more heavy into real estate, because I feel like that's where you're going to really have that change. I feel like politics, you do need somebody working on policy. So, I mean, I don't negate that or downplay that role, but having a presence in real estate, being able to really show people opportunities, because I can be that middle person. I can come and talk to a community that looks like you and tell them about opportunity in the community that look like us, and say, hey, this is why we need to help this area so we can do well and do good at the same time. I'm not talking about gentrification, I'm talking about just helping the community, underserved community, get what's due to them, or just have a different quality of life. Yeah. That exposure.
Yeah. I've always been curious about that conversation about gentrification, and I know that's a big conversation, and we probably got to go in maybe like 10, 15 minutes, but I am curious, like, how do you, as someone who's kind of involved in this whole process, how do you go into communities and help provide opportunities for them to, elevate their living standards and things like that without driving them, like the people who are there, out of the place? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
How have you seen that in your career in the projects that you've worked on?
So I'm not really sure. I don't know really if anybody just had it figured out, but this is the opinion of David, so it's the opinion of one. I'm an expert in my own opinion. I believe you kind of you have to have that balance between government and private sector. Down system payment programs. Being able to, Alabama is lucky that we have low property taxes. So it's not like in Chicago where you put $1 million building right here and everybody's property tax is going to jump up. Traditionally already low. It will have an influx, but getting those people in that community equipped to be able to pay for that by providing different training programs, provide different good jobs so they can still maintain a quality of life, and you kind of help guide them through that process without holding their hand, but just kind of give them opportunities. And some stuff, like for the older people that really can't, that's like they're retired, they're done. The county has a program where you're exempt from paying property tax if I think you're like over 65.
Okay.
So just creating more tools like that. So
Yeah.
we understand you're on a fixed income. We still need to develop this community and take it to the next level, but we want to make sure you're comfortable here. But then once again, having those conversations, having resources, let's talk to your family about what it's going to look like when you leave.
Yeah.
So they're prepared. A lot of this stuff is like we would just be unprepared. And once again, like the city of Birmingham is kind of like, from a governmental standpoint, there's a lot of restraints because you think of how big Birmingham is and all the stuff they have to do. At one point in time, Birmingham was bigger than Atlanta from a population standpoint.
Yeah.
And we still have that same footprint. So it's equivalent of us collectively buying this house. We all going in on it. So we all buying this house using our income. Then us two leave and you're here by yourself.
Yeah.
The bills pretty much still gonna be the same. The
Right.
mortgage still gonna be the same. That's what the position that Birmingham is in. So trying to get more people to relocate here to help pay some of our bills so we can provide those services for police, trash pickup, road pavement, the stuff that really don't have a return on investment,
Right.
the stuff that is very needed. I believe that's how you kind of have that balance in that.
Yeah.
That's a conversation we had. I had a conversation with a developer here in town, and he was basically saying that Birmingham's not far from cresting that mountain in terms of like economic growth at a rapid pace.
Yep.
But I think we need an influx of like young professionals and like companies and like larger companies to come here and attract talent to Birmingham. Kind of like what Joe Hampton was talking about, the program that he was in as a child. I can't remember what it was called.
Inroads.
Yep. But to keep talent in Birmingham.
Yep.
And you're talking about things that can happen in underserved communities to help enhance the quality of life for those over there. It has to look like employment opportunities. Yep. It kind of has to.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff is coming down to jobs, man. Honestly, like
quality employment opportunities.
Quality jobs.
Right.
I mean, you can make $12 an hour at chicken place. Still gonna be hard to live. Like my dad's from West Alabama, Livingston. Like we're so far in the country, man. We go to Mississippi for everything.
Yeah.
And it's not a lot of jobs out there.
Right.
But it's a lot of times when you got the high poverty rate, like Birmingham has a significant high poverty rate for the population, that's gonna be associated with a lot of crime.
Right.
And then one of my friends, shout out to Robert, man, we have an all class reunion, and the last one, man, they're like, hey, everybody, what's the move? Like, man, we're going to Hush. After the reunion, everybody going to Hush Lounge. And I asked Rob, you going to Hush? Like, man, a silk club paid me too much money to risk my life. And when he said that, I'm like, cause I like, bro, like I'm still sometimes like I be in the mix sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know what, man? You're right.
Yeah.
I'm not going to Hush.
Yeah.
And rightfully so, I'm happy that I did have a conversation. I thank God for this moment every time, man, because like that's when the shooting happened. That was that same night.
Yeah.
Because that was like our after party to our high school. Just kind of show you the kind of environment we kind of grew up in.
Yeah.
But just like me hearing him say that, I understand that Birmingham is on the right track for us bringing the right job. We have a lot of great companies. We have to support them and connect them with people like a Robert that can say, hey, man, I make too much money to be out here playing around like that. Like I'm going to the crib. We got stuff we're going on this weekend. And he grew up in the same environment I grew up in. Like me and this dude, our birthdays a day apart. We shared the same locker at one point in time. And to hear him say that, it means that we're definitely trending in the right direction. So quality jobs is shout out to the SIPCO.
Yeah. Let's go.
Shout out all the companies employing.
That's right.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all.
People in Birmingham.
Yeah.
For sure.
And we want more. We got room to grow. We got room for more. Come one. Nah, not come all. Come one. Come five.
A mentor of mine, Aaron Demerson, he's the president of the Texas Economic Development Corporation for the state of Texas.
I need to holler at him.
Appointed by Governor Abbott.
Put me on.
His saying, I will, absolutely. his saying is we're open for business.
Yep.
When he talking about like the state of Texas and da-da-da. So as Birmingham, we're open for business.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's a good word.
yeah.
Well, would you like to point everybody to yourself somewhere? LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook?
Yeah, LinkedIn, David A. Russell Jr. I think it's .mba maybe. Instagram, Hustle Russell. Please join for the journey.
Come on.
Hustle Russell.
Hustle Russell.
Hustle Russell Jr. yeah. It's two
love
of us.
it.
Please
Hustle
say the
Russell.
baby.
Yes, sir.
I love it. Well, thank you. Thank you for coming on for real.
Appreciate
that was a good
y'all
time.
for having me on here.
Yeah, we'll have
was
to do
fun.
it again. We'll have to chat again.
Most definitely.
Yeah,
Man,
it was
appreciate
fun.
it. Appreciate it. Myers, thank you for this.
Miles.
Probably the last time you guys see me for a little while.
I don't know about that. Come on.
You know, Steven's coming back. Steven coming back. I appreciate Steven giving me the opportunity to step in for him. Truly honored for this experience.
We'll keep it going.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Shout out to Steven.
Yeah, shout out to Steven.
Sure. Doing
go.
great work in Guatemala right now.
Yeah,
sure.
come on. All right, I think that's a wrap.
Thank you, sir. Oh, when you clap, it goes off? I just know he did that.
The clap at the beginning is to sync the audio from my video to
Gotcha, okay.
sound.
You're on the same page.
Yeah. Just